Hello. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to a reaction video, as you can probably tell by the title, of WrestleMania 40. I need to get the matches back up so I can remember every single match. But yeah, it was a good event. I really enjoyed it. I think it was I don't think there was any poor matches or ones that weren't, you're watching, that could have been better. But yeah, let me just get to the matches. Night one, apparently. Oh, that's the commentators. I was like, there was just a big gap. But yeah, so we start with night one. And night one, we had Rhea Ripley, who was defending her title against Becky Lynch. And she defended it successfully. I think it was a very good match. It was a solid women's match. Went on 17 minutes. I predicted Rhea Ripley would win, and lo and behold, Rhea Ripley did win. As I said, I knew it was going to be one of those that they were like, this is like, yeah, Rhea Ripley, here she is, she's the champion. And it kind of solidifies her reign. So as I said, it was a very good match, back and forth. But yeah, there was some good spots and stuff, but I'm glad that I was right in my prediction. Now, on to the second match. I'm just going to do these kind of rapid fire rather than an in-depth analysis, because that's just not me. And obviously I know I only watched it 2 days ago, but I can't remember everything that happened. But yeah, we go on to match 2, which is the 6-pack tag team ladder match for the tag team titles. And as we were told at the beginning, which we weren't told that I know of throughout anything leading up to the match, that both titles have to be retrieved. So inevitably that was going to force a split in the titles. So we had the SmackDown and the Raw titles. The first titles that were brought down, I believe, were the SmackDown titles, which A-Town Down Under won. Great. It was a very, very good match. I really enjoyed it. There was a lot of good spots. Obviously, you had some pretty established stars in there. Sorry. And you had like I think the New Catch Republic, they did really well. DIY did really well. The New Day were awesome. The Judgment Day were a bit lackluster for me. I don't think they really. It didn't seem that they fought hard to retain their titles. Obviously, then you have A-Town Down Under, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller bring the titles down, and then they get taken out. So then you've got the Raw titles left. I loved the bit with R-Truth with his hot tag. And when he came and then did the 5-knuckle shuffle and that, and then I can't remember who it was he pinned. I think it might have been Finn Balor or Damien Priest, and he pins him. And then the Miz comes in and grabs him, and he's like, "That's not how you win the match. You've got to climb. It's not 1, 2, 3. You got to climb the ladder." And half of my prediction came true. The Awesome Truth won the Raw Tag Team titles, which I think they did it the right way. Like a team that's newly formed, and a team that are newly formed but have a lot of history, and I'm really glad because I love the Miz, and R-Truth is a treasure that we all must behold. He's like, I think he's in his 50s and he still looks like he did when he was in his 20s, and he's hilarious, and it's fun, and I think he's the only guy that you couldn't find anyone that doesn't like him. So I was really happy with that. And then you had Rey Mysterio and Andrade versus Santos Escobar and Dirty Dom. It was your standard tag team match, really, weren't it? There was a cool spot, I think it was that Whack and Wild, where he stood on the ropes and they kind of gave him the boost and he went flying up the ramp. I think that was superb. That was really cool. And then at the ending you had two of Pittsburgh Steelers, I think they were. I don't know who they are. They came in and they helped Ray and Andrade get the win. I really thought Carlito was going to turn on him, but guess I was wrong on that prediction. Match 4, we've got the Usos, Jimmy and Jay. Again, I think it was a good match. A solid match. It wasn't nothing. I thought they would go a bit bigger. It was just a lot of super kicks, which I know they do a lot of super kicks, but it's like the Young Bucks, like the Young Bucks rely on it too heavily, and I think they relied on it too heavily in this match, that it has just killed off the super kick completely. I don't think the super kick's a devastating move anymore. But obviously you had Jay going over Jimmy. Jay's the one they're pushing. Jay was always going to be the one to win. And then we go on to match 5, which is Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, Naomi versus Damage Control, Dakota Kai, Asuka and Kairi Sane. I think I called it during the match. It was Bianca and Naomi for ages. Like, Damage Control kept tagging out, and then towards the end of the match, it didn't even. I think it went for 8 minutes, and then it come to the end and hot tag to Jade Cargill. She didn't get a bigger reaction as I thought she would, but apparently in the stadium it was quite cold, so I think that's why the crowd didn't seem as loud and boisterous. But yeah, Jade gets the hot tag, does some power moves, does a finisher, and wins the match for her, Bianca and Naomi. Pretty standard fair match, really. Sorry, keep yawning. Match 6, Sami Zayn and Gunther for the IC title. Yeah. Was what it was going to be, wasn't it? I'm quite surprised that Sami won, though. But then looking back, the big hype package before of it, Chad Gable hyping him up, and then his wife and his kid hyping him up, and Kevin Owens hyping him up. I do like Sami Zayn. I don't think it takes anything away from Gunther. He didn't need to be beat by some big, massive, established upper card star and lose the title, but I do hope that this kind of catapults him towards maybe Money in the Bank, maybe getting the briefcase and a title opportunity, because I think he deserves it. And for Sami Zayn, he's always the underdog. He's the little engine that could, and it was what you expected. Gunther smacked and chopped him and whacked him around, and then Sami Zayn, he had that big surge of energy at the end, did the haluva kick twice. I think it was twice, or maybe it was like 2 or 3 times, and beat Gunther. And you know what? Fair play to him. I'm quite surprised, as I said, that he won, but I think either guy winning would have been alright. And then you get to the big tag team match at the end, where we have the Bloodline, Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody and Seth. The stipulation was, if the Bloodline win, it's Bloodline rules. If Cody and Seth win, Bloodline members are banned from ringside. I think it was kind of obvious where it was going. I think it was a great match. I mean, it says here it ran for 44 minutes, and I'm not surprised that they gave it that long, because it was the big match and the big event that everyone wanted to witness. Basically, was it the biggest tag team match in WrestleMania history? Probably. Like, with the stakes and the guys that were in it. Honestly, I thought Seth might turn on Cody or Drew McIntyre might show up. None of that happened. And it was just, it was just four guys beating on each other. I like the bits where they went into the crowd and they went up the ramp and stuff and they were attacking each other. I think it was a really good match. I don't think The Rock looked like he missed a beat. I mean, he went for 44 minutes in his first match in what was it, like 8 years, mate? 8, 9, 10 years, something like that. And he took bumps. He took took a lot of the beating. I think they did kind of protect Roman a bit. I think they focused it all on The Rock to give Roman, so it's not like Roman's exhausted and he's going in and he's tired. And then obviously it ends with The Rock hitting the rock bottom, people's elbow, and the Bloodline win. Sorry, I don't write scripts, I just do things off the top of my head, and sometimes I'm not sure what I'm going to say next. But yeah, rock bottom, people's elbow, finished. I think that was always going to be the outcome because they wanted to stack the deck against Cody for the eventual, big Cody comeback. And as I said, I think that was probably my second favourite match of the night. My first favourite was the Sami Zayn and Gunther match, or was a Gunther match. But yeah, I think all, like the ones like the Usos, the 6-woman tag, and the LWO tag match, they were all solid matches. I think they were kind of sandwiched between Rhea and Becky, which was always going to be really good, and Sammy, Gunther and the Bloodline. I think they paced it out well. And then we go to night 2. Drew and Seth for the World Heavyweight title. Another good solid match. I think it was a bit 10 minutes, apparently a bit on the short side. I feel like they could have padded more in. It just seemed kind of like Claymore kick, curb stomp, Claymore kick, and I think they overused that. But then obviously Drew got the one-up, really, and ended up beating Seth. I think it was a title reign that deserved. I think he's going to be a great champion. And then he went out and he taunts Drew McIntyre. But wait, Drew isn't going to be a good champion, is he? Because CM Punk attacks him. Because he's gloating. CM Punk takes his legs out, hits him with his arm brace thing, kind of beats him up a bit, and then whose music hits but Damien Priest. Damien Priest comes running down, throws Drew in, hits him with a choke slam and wins it. I think it's a bit harsh on Drew. I think Drew deserved a title reign after the COVID title reign that he didn't really get to celebrate in front of people. There is a thing that apparently his contract's up, but the way they're building up the animosity between him and Punk, the way they were building up Drew, I think they'll re-sign him. I can't see Triple H letting him go, and I don't see why they would want to let him go. But yeah, I'll be honest with you, it was a fantastic match that I enjoyed, and I'm not sure about Damien Priest as a champion. I don't see him holding it on to long, but feel like they've got Clash at the Castle, and that's in Scotland. They're pushing Drew McIntyre quite a fair bit, and I'll be honest with you, I can foresee Drew winning it off Damien Priest. I think Damien Priest was a Vince decision, and I don't think it was very much a Triple H decision. And I feel like Drew will take it back, because then he gets his big win for a title at Clash of the Castle in his home country. A bit like what Sheamus said, that he thought that he should have been. Was it Sheamus? Did Sheamus fight Roman Reigns at Clash of the Castle, or was he even there? I'm gonna have to look that up. Yeah, it was Drew and Roman for the title, and I think he was like, I don't see why they didn't have me win it with them, and they didn't do anything with the momentum either. And you also had the Gunther Sheamus match, and I think it was Sheamus. He said that they didn't really do anything with me. They didn't do anything with the momentum that I gained. So, but this Clash in the Castle, I can foresee it being. I can see Drew being Damien Priest. I think they were like, we can't have his contract run out. We don't want him to lose, so we give him a win at WrestleMania, and then a couple of months later he loses. But yeah, on to the next match.